Welcome to the presentation on Twitter Tweet Sentiment Analyzer application. In this project, we aim to develop an advanced AI-based application that performs sentiment analysis and hate speech classification on Twitter. Our goal is to leverage artificial intelligence and natural language processing techniques to accurately predict the sentiment of tweets. By analyzing the public sentiment, we can gain valuable insights into people's opinions, emotions, and attitudes expressed on Twitter. It is equally important to address the issue of hate speech on social media platforms. Hate speech can contribute to a toxic online environment and harm individuals or communities. Our application also focuses on classifying tweets as hate speech or non-hate speech, contributing to the ongoing efforts to create a safer and more inclusive online space. By developing this application, we aim to provide valuable insights for the users and the organizations to improve tweet content, understand public opinions, and take appropriate actions to promote positive discourse and combat the hate speech. Before diving into the project details, let's explore the background and relevant literature. In today's digital age, understanding public sentiment and addressing hate speech on social media platforms are crucial. Researchers have explored various approaches to automatically detect and classify hate speech on Twitter. This includes the utilization of NLP techniques, machine learning algorithms, and deep learning models. The lexicons and dictionaries specific to hate speech are also used to enhance the classification performance. These models leverage features like engrams, word embeddings, and syntactic and semantic structures to capture discriminatory language and hate speech characteristics. By leveraging these approaches, researchers aim to develop effective and efficient hate speech detection systems. In this project, we have set out to achieve several aims that focus on developing a robust hate speech classification system. Our first aim is to develop an NLP-based hate speech classification system that is specially designed for Twitter. Secondly, we aim to evaluate the effectiveness of different NLP techniques and models in detecting and categorizing hate speech accurately. One of our key aims is to contribute to the knowledge of hate speech detection on social media platforms. Lastly, we strive to provide insights into the strengths and limitations of existing approaches and contribute to the development of more robust hate speech detection systems. Moving further, we have defined several objectives that will guide our development process and ensure the effectiveness of Twitter Tweet Sentiment Analyzer. Our first objective is to collect and pre-process a representative data set of labeled hate speech and non-hate speech comments from Twitter. Next, we will implement and compare various NLP techniques and models for the hate speech classification. By exploring different approaches such as deep learning models, rule-based methods, or ensemble models, we can identify the most effective techniques for accurately detecting and categorizing hate speech on Twitter. To enhance the classification performance, we will explore the use of speech lexicons and dictionaries. These resources can provide valuable insights into the language and patterns commonly associated with hate speech. And also, training and fine-tuning the models using appropriate feature extraction techniques and linguistic resources is another objective. We will evaluate the performance of our models using the standard metrics such as accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. These metrics provide quantitative measures of how well our models are able to classify hate speech and non-hate speech comments. In order to provide a user-friendly experience, we aim to develop an intuitive interface for hate speech classification with real-time feedback. Lastly, we will create informative dashboards that present hate speech statistics, trends, and sentiment analysis on Twitter. These dashboards will provide users and the organizations with valuable insights into the prevalence of hate speech, emerging trends, and the overall sentiment landscape on the platform. Moving further, let's understand the steps involved in developing the application. Initially, I have collected a data set of Twitter data for training and testing. Further, I have cleaned the data by removing the noise and developing a robust pre-processing component. Later, I have explored the best models and approaches for sentiment analysis through a comprehensive survey of literature. Further, I am aiming to build the AI model based on insights from the literature survey and also to evaluate the model's performance. I have planned to develop the user interface and APIs to classify the hate speech based on the user input. Later, I have planned the testing activity to evaluate the overall application and its performance. Finally, I will deploy this application either locally or on cloud services for accessibility. Now, let's take a look at the tools and technologies used in the development of Twitter Tweet Sentiment Analyzer. For the model development, we are using Python, which serves as our primary programming language, and the TensorFlow, which is an open source machine learning framework which helps in fine-tuning machine learning models. And for the UI development, we are utilizing HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. And for building of the backend services, we are using the Flask, which is a lightweight web framework for Python. This helps us to create a web API and handle the user requests. And in order to test these services, we are using Postman tool and verify whether the requests and responses are working fine or not. Now let's get an understanding of the data set that is being used in our project. For this project, we source the data from Kaggle, a popular platform for open datasets. The dataset consists of 74,681 records for training the model and 999 records for testing its performance. It is labeled with 4 classes that are irrelevant, negative, neutral, and positive. This dataset provides us with the foundation to train our hate speech classification models. To enhance the user experience, we will develop a user interface that allows user to input tweets and receive real-time sentiment predictions. Here are the mockups of the user interface pages, the model graphs page and the sentiments prediction page. These pages provide visual representation of the sentiment analysis results and allow users to interact with the application effectively. Now, let's get an understanding of the testing process and the evaluation metrics used in my project. To verify the UI, I aim to perform unit testing, integration testing, functional and regression testing. For the testing of backend services, Postman tool is utilized to verify requests and response of the APIs. Additionally, model testing is performed using a separate testing dataset to assess accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score and identify any potential shortcomings or areas for improvement, which are considered as the evaluation metrics in my project. Now let's have a look at our project plan. This plan outlines the various stages, tasks, and dependencies involved in developing our application. It helps us to stay organized and on track throughout the project lifecycle. Moving further, let's have a look at the risks and contingencies that are involved in developing our project. Building AI applications, especially those involved model training, come with certain risks. In our project, we have identified potential risks and devised contingency plans to mitigate them. Some of the risks include hardware crashes, wrong predictions, and handling invalid inputs. By being prepared for these risks, we can minimize their impact on our project. Moving further, now let's discuss about the ethical considerations that are being followed in my project. As a responsible developer, I am mindful of the ethical considerations involved in my project. Analyzing public sentiment and hate speech require careful handling of sensitive data. In my project, I am using a licensed data set from Kaggle. Throughout my project, I aim to prioritize user privacy, fair representation, and the promotion of inclusivity in the application. These ethical considerations guide my development process. Finally, I have included a list of references that have informed my project. These research papers and studies provide valuable insights into the hate speech detection, sentiment analysis, and as well as social media analysis. They have helped us shape our methodologies and approaches in developing our application. Thank you for your attention and time.